Last week I did a do for gynecologists and midwives. What a knees up that was. Just finished my second book. My first book was called How to Avoid the Breathalyzer. My second book, Great Walks in Devon. I got a booking in Liverpool once. My dad said, don't go, it's nothing more than live sex on stage. You'll see something you shouldn't, don't go. So I went. Saw my dad. I went and had a haircut the other day, a haircut, scalp massage. They gave me a shave with a cutthroat razor. Because I was having all that, they gave me a free manicure. And there was a beautiful manicurist. So I looked at her, I said, here, I said, do you fancy coming out with me tonight? She said, oh no, she said, I can't. She said, I'm married. I said, well, tell him you're working. She said, you tell him he's shaving you. I'll tell you what first got me into this game. I was brought up on a show called Wheel Tappers and Shunters. Do you remember that? Yes. Do you remember the guy with the bell? Yes. Who was that? Colin Crompton. And what did Colin Crompton always say? I'm glad you came. He was, on behalf of the committee, pies have arrived. Somebody has asked the committee for a chandelier. Now, firstly, nobody on the committee can spell it. Secondly, nobody can play one. Thirdly, what the club really needs is more lighting. I've also been asked to remind members the sign on the gents, wet paint, is not an instruction. Now, in 1972, Granada took that show and made it into something else, a show called The Comedians. Do you remember that? Yes. First place you saw people like Mike Reed, Frank Carson, and a fellow who used to say, settle down now. What? Ken Goodwin, well done. Next one's for the car. Ken Goodwin used to say things like, a fella came in the local pub pulling a piece of string. I said, what are you doing pulling that piece of string? He said, I look stupid pushing it, would I? I was in the house the other day, and there was a knock on the door. I opened the door, it was a snail. He said, can I come in? I said, no, you can't, you're a snail, and I kicked him like that. 6 months later, there was a knock on the door. It was the snail. He said, what'd you do that for? Also in the comedians were the more rotund comics, people like Joss White, George Roper, Bernard Manning. Oh, you're looking worried now. And they used to tell jokes like, this woman lost her husband, so she went to see one of these clairvoyants. She said to the clairvoyant, I want to get in touch with Fred. So the clairvoyant took out the crystal ball and was there like that. And Fred, if you're there, Fred, knock twice. And it came back like that. She said, right, she said, we've got him. What do you want to know? She said, oh, I don't know. Ask him how he's been. So she got the crystal. She went, Fred, Fred. She wants to know how you've been. He said, well, got out of bed this morning with a bird. Been for a quick swim. Then I'm going to go flying. And then I'm going to get back into bed with a bird. She said, Fred, you weren't like that when you were with me. He said, I wasn't a duck then. One of my favourite guys from the comedians was a fella who used to say, all right, you old flower. Charlie Williams. And Charlie used to tell a joke about little lad goes to his mum and he said, Mum, I want a bike. I really want a bike. She said, you can't have a bike. We'll play whatever you like, but you can't have a bike. He said, well, can we play mummies and daddies then, please? She said, well, all right then. He said, well, get up them stairs, get your negligee on and get into bed. She thinks this is a bit strange. But she goes upstairs, gets her negligee on and gets into bed. And she hears him. He puts on his dad's boots, his dad's jacket, and his dad's cap. And he starts up the stairs. He gets to the top of the stairs and he flings open the bedroom door. And he said, "Oi, woman, get down them stairs and get that lad of mine a bike."